it's Dominique, the Nourishing Mystic, and today I'd like to review The Altar Within, a radical devotional guide to liberate the divine self by Juliet Diaz. I love this quote at the very back. She remembered who she was, and without mercy, she destroyed everything that ever made her feel like she wasn't whole. That really helps to sum up this book. I have read it all the way through, but it's also the kind of book that I'm going to continually return to many times, even throughout my life. Like, this is a good book to keep right on your bedside or wherever you'd like to do self-reflection. And this book, there's so many good things I can say about it. It comes as a hardcover, and I love at the beginning, people have already started to see this as even a coloring page, which I think is pretty fun, and I'm definitely going to color mine in as well. And it's just an amazing book because it can apply to any spiritual path, any practice that you have. It's not based on any particular religion. This book is really about discovering yourself and discovering the altar within, which I like to relate to this idea of having an inner temple, that essentially you do have all of that which you seek is within you, and this book is helping you to connect with that source of inner wisdom. Some people may call it like your higher self, or however you identify with that source of wisdom. She refers to it as the divine self. So this is our page of contents. Essentially, the book is broken down by part 1, explaining the divine self, what she means by that, what she's referring to, bypassing, spiritual bypassing, blood, roots, and bones. And this part, I think, is really important, and I love this about the book, that she is absolutely emphasizing and needed emphasis, especially with the kind of spirituality we see promoted today that's always good vibes only, positive, 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 only positive. And she really emphasizes that that's not reality. That's not life. That's not what we should expect of ourselves. And when we do spiritual bypassing, we're completely bypassing the authentic parts of ourselves. So she really digs into that. And while you're reading it, she beckons you to dig deeper into your true self, even looking at your shadows. Like, there's a lot of shadow work in this book. And it goes really deep. So some of those parts of ourselves that we may want to bypass ourselves, she beckons us to dig into them, find the truth there, find the truth of our being, find our authentic self, and use that to connect with the divine self and see the fullness of the divine self, which is both shadow and light. So if you were on the fence about this book because you weren't sure, if you're tired of mainstream spirituality being so just good vibes only, and every self-help book that you get is just, have a positive mindset, this is the book for you. This is like medicine. This is like a balm. This is such a relief, such an exhale to not have to deal with that, like the anti-positive vibes only kind of book here, a book that you can feel yourself held by. This book, like, it holds you and all of your truth and everything that you haven't yet forgiven for yourself. It holds you and your traumas and your struggles, and she is allowing herself to be vulnerable in the writing, and you can tell that when she shares her experiences of some of the most dark times in her life and everything that she's been through. It helps me feel seen, that she's been through these struggles, and I can relate to them with my struggles and my dark times and my traumas. And instead of a self-help book that says, no, just ignore all of that, think positive thoughts and whatever, like she's like, hey, I'm gonna hug all of you, I'm gonna embrace all of you, we're gonna be best friends, and I've got you as you work through this and as you connect with your divine self. So I love that her writing is authentic, it's natural. She calls you bestie all through the book, which is really nice. It feels like it's written by a friend, not someone who thinks that they're better than thou, or somebody who thinks that they've already attained the highest of spiritual goodness. She's writing to you as a friend and holding you as you dig deeper to discover your authentic self. The second part is self-worship, and she explains what she means by that. Decolonizing spirituality, which is so important, and maybe I'll do a video just on that topic. That alone is worth reading this book, just her section on decolonizing spirituality. So getting rid of whitewashed spirituality is so important. Self-compassion, mindfulness, and self-acceptance, building a healthy relationship with self, acknowledging the altar within. And then the third part is self-discovery. So the journey of self-discovery, discovering self-love, self-patience, self-forgiveness, setting self-discovery goals, self-discovery being the road to liberation. And then part 4, self-activism. Self-activism through community care. And lastly, liberation is living in alignment with our ancestors. So I also loved her emphasis on ancestral work and ancestral healing. A lot of this is meditation. The book also comes with meditations. The book is mainly meditations, rituals, sometimes like shower rituals that you can do, and a lot of it is journaling, doing a lot of journal prompts to become, honest with yourself and to commit to yourself, to set boundaries with yourself. Like, that is so important. I can't say enough good things about this book and how much deep wisdom is in this book. So many great ideas for spiritual practices, like morning rituals and practices. And then here's like some examples of the journaling prompts. And these journaling prompts, I haven't even fully dug into them quite yet because they go on such a deep level. Like, it's something you really need to set time for yourself to do and to dig in with them. And they go to that level that you may even want to see a therapist, which she does have suggestions on how to get therapy, which is nice as well, because it's digging into those traumas, it's digging into those hidden areas. So you may also need some help from a therapist as well, because we're talking about forgiving yourself and so much here. And there's also beautiful illustrations. So I love this book. I just got it pretty recently. Right now I'm doing the exercises, she has a 30-day self-discovery challenge here. Let's see if I can find the page. There's just a lot. There's a lot here. It's a deep book. It's a transformational book to transform how you think about yourself, which is beautiful. Oh yeah, and she talks about EFT, which I thought was pretty interesting. Something I'm definitely interested in kind of learning about for myself. She's got a lot of good suggestions for some affirmations that can be done. Here we go. So this is where I'm at right now. I'm doing the 30-day self-discovery challenge, which has already been so powerful. Things like looking at yourself in the mirror and hearing what your divine self has to say about you. Taking 15 minutes out of your day to massage your hands, to dress as your divine self wants to dress, to buy yourself flowers and reflect on what those flowers mean to you. So there's a lot of really great suggestions there, and it's already been such a healing practice to just take that time for myself. And lastly, I wanted to flip through and just read some things that I've highlighted in the page so you can get kind of an idea of some of the magic that's within these words. So, true magic is realizing you have an innate birthright to live in joy, be healthy, and live your divine life. There is a deep and magical life flowing through you at all times. You just have to stay still enough to feel the direction of its current. And know that we don't get to enjoy the journey when we're rushing through it. I love that. There's quite a bit I highlighted in here. And I'm sure what I've read here and the work that I'm going to be doing through this book is going to be influencing future videos and future devotionals that I record, because I love that this book is also broken down as devotionals. So self-activism is my way of saying you can never erase my ancestors from within my spirit. The world needs to know who we are so deeply that we are better able to manifest a new world together, a divine life that doesn't sell you water from the very earth from which we are all born. It's powerful. If you feel happy and have joy in what you do, then you are a success, bestie. We will find that life happens in the most divine time, not in our time. You can begin to discover her and understand how long she has been waiting for you to see that you were your divine self this whole time. You just needed to slow down enough to greet her. And the most powerful thing you can do for your own self-love and spiritual growth is to celebrate others' wins, successes, accomplishments, and manifestations. Love is the fabric of your soul. You are worthy of love, you are capable of loving, and you deserve to love yourself radically. And one of the only things that got me through the months that followed my death and rebirth was acknowledging that I didn't lose myself. I had just put that other self to rest and awakened a different part of me for this new season of my life and new purpose. As I learned, in order to discover the divine self, we have to surrender to the magic of divinity, learning to trust in her timing, lessons, and delivery. Even rest can be an act of ritual when you integrate an intention with it. For example, I am resting because I am worthy of recuperating and healing. One of the most significant benefits of living a life in ceremony and creating these rituals is that you slow down life. You become one with the movement of life. You become one with the breath of divinity. We are one with the breath of the goddess. Your breath is a ritual. Your tongue is a ritual. Your movements are rituals. Your heart beating is a ritual. All of you is beautifully magical and sacred. So, I think everyone could use that reminder from time to time, just to hear that all of you is beautifully magical and sacred. That's really the main message I get from this book. Self-care is the end of you resisting yourself. And spiritual work is also resting, recuperating, and recovering. And that's part of the first section on decolonizing spirituality. We need to be present. We need to show up for ourselves and each other and give a fuck about humanity, the earth, and dismantling the spiritual and wellness spaces and industries until they are for the people, for all the people. You came here to have a human experience, and you can't have a human experience if you ignore that you are human. So those are just some very small examples. Oh, one more. We are earth, we are nature. This is our humanness, our flesh, our roots, and our bones. We are carrying the blood of our ancestors within this sacred temple. Whether you know them or not, the ancestors rejoice through you. So yeah, that's just a few wonderful examples of this book. I just recommend reading the entire book and then coming back to it. You see I added tabs here so I could come back to the journaling exercises and do it. It's one of those books where you read it through the first time and already the change and transformation is happening. And as you continue to go back and reread it and rework through the exercises, that continues to move you through the spiral of healing, right? So you read it once and get a lot, you read it again and do the work and you get more, and you go deeper and deeper into this practice, because I feel like this practice is a lifelong journey. It's an experience. It doesn't have a finish line or an end point, that we are going deeper and deeper into our connection with the divine and an awareness of our divine self, and working through all of the experiences that we had in life. So this is an amazing spiritual companion for your practice, an amazing transformational book that I really can't recommend enough. I love it. I think it's amazing, and I'm excited to do even more of the journal prompts. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you, or just leave me a heart to let me know that you watched this video. I really appreciate it. And sending everyone love, and blessed be.